Coal Secretary PC Parakh turned around the image of being a CBI accused today as he went public with his rant against the agency, taking the government and the CBI totally by surprise. He said if he is guilty in coal case, so is the Prime Minister, because he did everything according to what Prime Minister said and he did it openly. I'm Sunitra Chaudhary, and on agenda tonight we are asking if these revelations have been damning for Dr. Manmohan Singh and the CBI. And our pundits taking positions tonight, we have Randeep Singh Surjewala, Senior Minister in Haryana Congress. We also have Captain Abhimanyu who will be speaking for the BJP, and from the CBI, former Director R.K. Raghavan, we'll be asking about what it says about the agency. Before we go to our pundits, let's just see exactly what the former Coal Secretary has said, which has created such a furor.
If it is a conspiracy, then there are a couple of conspirants. Mr. Birlas, who made a request, he is a conspirant. I, who examined and made a recommendation, I am a conspirant. And the PM who took a decision is also a conspirant.
PC Parakh, first a whistleblower, now an accused, lashing out against the CBI, which has filed an FIR against him in the coal scam. The FIR alleges Parakh favoured Kumaramangalam Birla promoted Hindalco. They claim the former coal secretary overturned the screening committee's recommendation and gave the coal block to Hindalco, and that he met with Kumaramangalam Birla personally before the decision was taken. Parakh says he did nothing wrong.
Mr. Kumaramangalam Birla made a representation to Prime Minister that this has been an unfair decision for us because we were the first applicant, we are equally competent and the case should be reviewed. He also met me and made a similar representation. I felt that there is some merit in his representation and matter needs to be reconsidered. So I re-examined the matter and then I made a suggestion that apart from Navali, we can also include Hindalco in this coal block. They can make a joint venture and operate it as a joint venture company. This recommendation was approved by the Prime Minister as coal minister, and I find there is absolutely nothing wrong in it.
Parakh's words about the Prime Minister, however, music to the opposition's ears, which has renewed its demand for an investigation against Dr. Singh in the coal scam.
Time has come for Parakh to speak up. He has spoken a little. He should come out clean now, make public statements of how files were disposed of at that time, how chits were received from the Congress party headquarters in the PMO.
I don't think it is important as to what the BJP has to say, because all that they have been doing is saying for the last 10 years.
To date, the CBI has filed 14 FIRs in the coal scam. But is it just the tip of the iceberg? With Uma Sudhir in Hyderabad, Sunitra Chaudhary for NDTV.
And so our first talking point, does Parakh's defence embarrass the Prime Minister's office? Randeep Surjewala, don't you agree it does?
Absolutely no. Sunitra, there are three things that you need to look at. Firstly, what has Mr. Parakh said? We have to put it in a particular context, and I heard him clearly even on your channel. He has said there was no wrongdoing, the decision that the Prime Minister has taken is correct, and the recommendation that Mr. Parakh made is correct. It is only the Bharatiya Janata Party that is indulging in obnoxious and irresponsible trading of charges, leading to mudding in their sole attempt to muddy political waters in this election year without caring as to what happens to the image of the country, without caring that you have an honest economist Prime Minister who is respected in India and abroad. And number two, Sunitra, a very quick point I want to make.
Yes.
This coal process allocation has been going on since 1993. From 1994 to 2003, NDA allocated 41 blocks with the same process. They did nothing to change the process. It is UPA 1 which proceeded to initiate the process of changing the entire gambit of allocation of coal blocks by introducing bidding process. And when we do so, we have to take states who are stakeholders on board, because coal is ultimately earth and it's embedded into earth and it's also a state subject. When we do so, all the BJP governments...
I know, but that is a larger point. If we just limit ourselves We're just talking about this statement and what the implications of that. And I want to throw what you're saying to the BJP and also ask another question, that in a way, when he's defending himself, isn't he doing that instead of implicating the Prime Minister? Isn't defending himself and saying it's not that the Prime Minister is guilty, but they've both done nothing wrong? And is that what he's saying? Mr. Captain Abhimanyu, wouldn't you accept that? That he's saying, in fact, he's blaming the CBI more than the Prime Minister by saying that, look at the way CBI is acting.
See, we did not really say anything about the CBI. The whole country now knows, and Supreme Court has also observed, that CBI is almost acting like a proverbial parrot of the Congress party. And today the people of this country believe that it's not the Central Bureau of Investigation, it is actually acting as the Congress Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
But today Mr. Parakh has brought out a very important issue when he said that if he is a conspirator in this particular case of Mr. Kumaramangalam companies being allotted with this coal block, then it has to be the Prime Minister who actually signed on this allotment of this particular coal block. So this is a serious charge by a former secretary
Yes.
who was actually acting as secretary of the department of whose the Prime Minister was actually the cabinet minister. See, we must not forget that the Prime Minister's office is a sacred institution in Indian democracy. And
Yes.
then now the onus lies on the Prime Minister to accept the responsibility for what has happened. The Prime Minister has to be judged by the standards much more harsher than the standards by which Mr. A. Raja was judged in the 2G spectrum case.
Okay.
The Prime Minister has to come clean on this, and the nation conscience is actually stirred
Yes,
and deeply
yes.
hurt by the silence of Prime
Mr.
Minister
Surjewala,
today.
I know you want to come in here, and I just want to act that I know you said that it doesn't embarrass the Prime Minister, but the fact that a senior bureaucrat who's been called a whistleblower, whose words have been upheld, who the entire IAS association, they say he has a very clean reputation, and he's accepting everything that the CBI's charges. He's accepting all the charges, but he's saying that yes, I did it because I took a decision. And he's saying that the Prime Minister also forwarded me the same note saying, yes, please consider Birlas case. Now, having said that, the fact that the CBI is implicating him for doing very same thing, doesn't it make the Prime Minister's position more precarious?
See, please understand two things. What my friend from the BJP, and I very quickly answer to that. It's classical BJP double speak. What my friend just said. It's running with the hare and hunting with the hound. Mr. Parakh is absolutely right, but CBI is also right. And CBI's Congress Bureau of Investigation, that's a classical BJP double speak. What has Mr. Parakh said, Sunetra? We need to examine that.
So, Surjewala,
he has
the
said
Supreme Court is
that
also
the
doing some sort of double speak in this
allocation of
case?
this particular call block, that's the difficulty. He will not listen. What has Mr. Parakh said? He has clearly said that the decision allocation of this coal block jointly to Hindalco as also to Nevli Lignite Corporation
Yes.
was absolutely bona fide and correct, and that is the recommendation that he made. And in this case, Sunetra, we must not forget that CBI is completely being monitored by Supreme Court. Government of India has nothing to do with the case.